We all know that the NBA playoffs are slowly creeping among us. The question that's been running through a lot of NBA fans' heads is what would happen if the NBA playoffs started today? So here's my take on what the outcome would be if the NBA playoffs started today with no further games left in the season. If you're not subscribed, do your boy a favor and hit that subscribe button and make sure to hit that notification bell so you know when I post my next video.
Again, got it. Cleveland, its first lead.
So first, we're going to talk about Cleveland versus Indiana. This is an interesting matchup because both of these teams have kind of been up and down, but one standout factor that I think I've seen is the fact that Indiana has beat Cleveland 2 out of the 2 matchups that they've had this season. Now, I understand that Cleveland has a far better record than Indiana, but what is it about this Pacers offense that has been giving Cleveland so much trouble? I think this Indiana offense plays a hell of a lot harder because they know that Cleveland could be one of the prime matchups that they face in the playoffs. Now, while Tyrese Haliburton is having a hell of a season, I think Cleveland has way too much firepower and a little bit too much bench depth for the Indiana Pacers to even have a chance to compete with them in a deep run in 7 games in the playoffs. So I'm going to go with Cleveland beating the Pacers 4-1. Next, we have what could be the most interesting, intense, aggressive matchup that we have ever seen in NBA history, and that is the 76ers against the Milwaukee Bucks. We all know that the big implication that can change everything is Joel Embiid's impending return to the playoffs from his season postponing injury. Now, no one knows how Joel Embiid is really going to compete after a season postponing injury, but I think he's going to come back with a vengeance. I mean, a player of his caliber at this level doesn't come back unless they know that they can really make a dent in the team's plans. And if we're lucky enough to see this matchup, we're going to see 2 of the best big men in the league go head-to-head in a potential 7-game series. I don't know about you guys, but I would love to see Giannis Antetokounmpo and Joel Embiid go at it for 7 straight games. I think we can all agree that with the addition of Damian Lillard, a new aspect of the game has been added for Milwaukee. We know that Damian Lillard has had plenty of moments in the clutch in the playoffs, but I think he's really going to complement Giannis well when it comes to deep runs in fourth quarters where they need a second option who's not Giannis. I think the addition of Damian Lillard is only going to provide a clutch factor for them when they're facing tight games, especially in a potential matchup against the 76ers.
Adebayo storming in for the finish and the foul.
And here we have the infamous Eastern Conference Finals matchup between the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat. Now, these 2 teams have a deep history which involved very close games, and not to mention Game 7, which involved the Miami Heat beating the Boston Celtics 103-84 in Boston. Now, if we were lucky enough to see this matchup again, I think it would be a lot different than what we've seen in the past. With Miami still playing at a pretty high level, the Celtics have taken an overwhelming lead in the East, and Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum seem to have figured out everything they need to be the top-tier team in the Eastern Conference. There's no doubt that Jaylen Brown has been playing at a high level, but Jason Tatum especially has seemed to figure out what he needs to do to be able to dominate day in and day out. In this stage of Jason Tatum's career, I don't think that he's going to lose to a mediocre Miami team the same way he did a couple years ago. So with all that being said, I'm going to have to go with the Boston Celtics beating the Miami Heat 4-2 in a 7-game series. Now guys, with all this being said, I just want you to keep in mind this would be my prediction if the NBA playoffs started today. There's a lot of games left in the season, and there's a lot of things that will change, including standings and rankings. But if the playoffs were to start today, this is my take on what would happen. And if you guys think there would be a different outcome, please leave it in the comment section below. And again, don't forget to subscribe and make sure to hit that notification bell so you know when I post my next video.